All right, Drew, I got to ask you about this because I heard the conversation you were talking about. Once you get to that elite level, when it comes to boxers, man, talk about the separation and what they're looking for at that point to get the victory.
When you get to the elite level, all the guys and all the coaches on the high level, they mainly looking for mistakes. Everybody can fight at the elite level. So they watching you, watching your guys, watching opponents, watching their habits, and they looking at them habits, either they good habits or bad habits. They are habits, right? You're looking at them and they examine them and trying to figure out where he weak at. Is he weak when he going back? Will he drop his hands when he coming forward? Will he drop his hands when he coming back? Mainly at the elite level, everybody can fight. They just looking for mistakes, trying to capitalize on your opponent's mistakes.
You know, speaking on that, Drew, is that what we hear in fights when we hear announcers or anybody talk about the sport when they say a fighter's collecting data as they go from round to round into the later rounds? Is that what you mean by that? They're looking for certain things to see if a fighter's going to continue the way he's going in the fight, and then I'm like, okay, I got that hold there. He's keep doing it. I got him in the next round if he do it again. That's what you're talking about?
That's exactly what they're looking for when they saying they collecting data. They watching, they probing, they watching your habits. They seeing if you're dropping your hand. They seeing if you're slowing down. The mistakes that you have as the round go on, they get magnified when you start getting a little bit tired. So that's why good fighters don't really start fighting until probably like the third round. If it's a 12-round fight, they watching you, trying to watch your habits. They gauging your speed. They trying to gauge your cadence of your punches, your pattern, your movement. Just trying to really see what you made of, what you're doing.
Now, another thing you were talking about, what was an interesting conversation was explain the difference when you say when a promotional company is moving the fighter compared to building the fighter.
The difference between moving a fighter and building a fighter, it's two different things, but it's similar. But a lot of fighters, they give a guy a 4-round fight. They give him a guy, he first started off, we hit him, the fight go out. They give him another 4-round fight with a guy that can put a lot of pressure on that guy, but he really can't punch. Then they give him another fight, which is a 60-40 fight. Then they might give him one more fight like that. And the fight after that, it might be a guy that puts a lot of pressure on you but can't punch at all. Right? When you repeat this process in a 6th round, in an 8th round, stuff like that. But when you're taking a guy and you're trying to build him compared to move him, right? You gotta have a fight where they can grow from it. If you keep getting him all the fights that he just hit him, knock him out, knock him out, knock him out, it looks good on your resume, but he's not learning nothing along the way. It just looks good on the record. Then when he gets to a certain point where he's trying to fight somebody just like him, he 9 times out of 10 he kind of failed because he haven't learned all his skills. He don't have a lot of tools in his toolbox, and he failed at the end. You see that process a lot. I'm gonna use an example, right? This is a crazy one. Rolly talked himself into that fight, right? But he had a decent record. I don't know, with the 16 and and stuff like that. But he had a lot of holes in his game. Big puncher. Throw punches, feet real wide and stuff like that. So all Tank was doing, sitting there watching him, knowing he make a lot of mistakes. Let him get a little bit tired, and that mistake is magnified. And by the time he figure out he made a mistake, the fight is over. That's another prime example of, they moved him, but he was definitely not ready to fight somebody like Tank.
Not speaking of fighters, I'll probably say another example to that would probably be what Berlanga, what you see with him right now, and him moving over to the zone type of situation. When he got to that certain level of Top Rank, I guess they must have saw something that, like, hey, you're not for us.
Top Rank is a well-oiled machine. They know exactly what they're doing. They build guys up, and Berlanga part, he's a decent fighter. I'm not going to talk bad about him. He's a decent fighter, but he has a lot of holes in his game. So as he started climbing the ladder, he's been exposed by guys that really know how to fight. But because Berlanga had a huge fan base, they kept him busy so they can use Berlanga to showcase a lot of the other guys so people can get to see him too because of the fan base. But Berlanga's a decent fighter. He'll do better on the Eddie Hearn circuit compared to being on the Top Rank circuit. The Top Rank has some guys that can really fight. And if he would have stayed over there, he would have kept getting exposed.
Now, I got to ask you about this, True, and people's response behind it. I had saw the post where you were doing the comparison of of the first 8 fights, just looking back at Floyd's and then looking at trades that's showing, I guess basically, man, that how you want to move your fighter.
Yeah, I basically put that up to show that he has a lot of top prospects out here, and I was showing that as a comparison to Trayvon first 8 fight compared to Floyd 8 fights compared to a lot of other person 8 fight. This showing that we are building him. We're not just moving him. Some people were saying we was rushing him and stuff like that, but I just wanted to show there's a comparison for a reason. Look at it. The things he's doing is on a whole different level compared to somebody just building a fighter. We're trying to move this guy.
Prime example was with Deloach and gauging with Stanionis. He beat him in a quicker time, things of that nature. That's sort of the things that you're looking for?
Yes. We're looking to take fights that, like I said, to build Trayvon, not just move him, build him. Deloach fight was a gauge fight to show that he can fight that type of guy with that much experience. The fight before that, when he fought Sean West, was another guy that we used as a gauge because he fought Joey Spencer. Joey Spencer stopped him in 4 rounds. Trayvon stopped him in the first round. So we taking fights to build him. We're not just moving him, we build him. We want him to grow from each fight. That's why you can see as each fight Trayvon had, he's growing. You might see this fight, he might stop a guy with an uppercut, left uppercut. Another fight, he stopped the guy with a right uppercut. Another fight, we stopped the guy with a left hook. Another fight, he stopped the guy with a right hand. He's growing. He's adding to his toolbox each time he fight. He's growing fight by fight. Not just moving him, he's growing fight by fight.
Now, among the ex-fighters, current fighters, man, what have they been saying about Trayvon?
Trayvon been getting a lot of love from a lot of top guys. A lot of guys. Andre Ward speaks highly of him. A lot of other guys speak highly of him. It's a good thing because a young fighter wants to know that people is recognizing his skill set. So on that point right there, he's moving at a good pace and we're happy with it.
Okay. Man, as always, Drew, truly appreciate your time, man, sharing knowledge on the sport of boxing. Also wanted to get your thoughts, man. DC boxing, man, part of a rich history of it, man. I think we had 5 world champions at one time. What was the scene like, man, for people who might not know? Because I hear the stories about how the Golden Gloves, DC Golden Gloves, used to be star-studded, come dressed to impress. Mm-hmm. What was your thoughts of DC boxing then compared to what we have now?
DC boxing right now, I think is in a good space, but I think it can be in a better space. I think we have a lot of nice young talent right now. It's not as many as it used to be far as competitive fights, but we still have enough good fighters that can make competitive fights like that. And I just think when everybody get together and start working and taking the fight, that's the main thing. We have a lot of guys that can fight, but they're not willing to take them fights. So when they're not willing to take them fights, it stops the growth of that fighter and other fighters. So we need guys to step up and take the big boy fights, not just trying to pad your record and stuff like that. When they pad their records and not taking these fights, it hurts them at the end. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm getting a fine example. David Whitmire, I fought him up. I fought this kid up when he was 15, he's fighting 17, when he was 13, he's fighting 15. I took them type of fights to build him. I didn't worry about padding his record. The results of that now is, look at him now. Look at him turning pro at 17. He's ready. He's been ready, but he's ready. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't pad his record. I took fights up so he can get the experience.
Okay, now that you say that, right, about how your philosophy is on teaching and getting them ready for the next level. You know, I had a conversation with Jamal, and I was asking him about what they're doing out there with USA Boxing, man, and they had this drill, man. I ain't lying, it was like tag in. I was like, what is that? But Jamal was saying, man, when it comes to the judges, you touch it, man, that's the point. That's the point.
That's the point. That's the amateur system. I actually know one of the gentlemen that's on the coaching staff who worked with the program with me before. So I understand that. I understand the touch scoring system. That is amateur boxing. But when it's time to turn pro, they have to transfer. Some of that hurts a lot of the fighters. That's why you see a lot of the Cubans and the Russians and stuff like that. They do okay in the pros, but they don't transfer over to some of the greats because they've been stuck in that style for 20 years, 15 years, touch, 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 touch. When you transfer over to the pro game, it's about hurting people, not just touching and run. So they make an okay living, they never make a great living because they stuck in that style. That's the amateur style, which is cool for the amateur. But with my team, with my kids, I'm trying to teach them the pro style. Because the end result is you want to be a great pro at the end, or you want to be an okay amateur. You gotta pick
Okay,
one.
I go back to what you're saying about habits. How long does it take to break a bad habit or to change someone's bad habit? What's that process like? Is it like 20 days? How long does it take to break a bad habit?
Bad habits, some bad habits, they just not gonna be able to break. Some habits is not gonna be able to break because we look at it, right? Let's look at the way you got a lot of European guys that's over here just transferring over to the pro. Some of them doing good, but they can't. Ain't too many of them can go to the high level like that because they still stuck in the pity pat system. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You still got to score. Bottom line, you do got to score, but in the pros, you got to score and you got to hurt somebody. So you can score and win, but you can't bring the fan base in because the fan base and the people want to see you hurt somebody. So nobody want to see you pit all night. That's why some people, they not that high on Devin Haney, right? But I think Devin Haney is a great fighter. But because he doesn't really set down on his punch like that, they're never gonna look at him like a Tank Davis or something like that. 'Cause Tank is an entertainer. He's gonna please you. He's gonna have the crowd going. He's gonna entertain you. Devin Haney will win, but sometimes you're like, man, I ain't trying to see you go 12 round pit pat. But he's still scoring though, cause that's the amateur system. But even though he's a pro, he's still fighting a little bit like an amateur.
Okay, great question here. You might want to answer, might not want to answer. If both careers ended today, let's say with Tank and Devin, who's going to Hall of Fame?
But see, that's a tricky question because that goes down into their resume. Who has they fought? You want to go look at Tank resume, look at Devin resume, and then you can say, okay, well, Tank got both belts, right? But then you can say, well, the guys that Devin Haney fought, I know Tank would have whitewashed him. I know that for a fact. So it's kind of. You know what I'm saying?
I guess the meaning behind that question is the significance of the talk with the belts compared to fighters in the day. I can't imagine like someone like a Hagler would be cool with what he see in boxing today because it took him years before he got his first title defense, man, and for him, once he got it, man, he ain't relinquished. He stayed right there at the middleweight his whole career.
Yeah, he stayed there. But the game changed now, so it's not.
I guess with the entertainment and the money factor involved, it's all money going to trump everything.
Money gonna trump everything. Like I said, if you bring in Devin Haney fan base, you bring in Tank fan, Tank bringing in stars, man. He gonna excuse me from cussing, but he gonna put asses in the seat, and that's what the promoters want. Tank can have a belt or not have the belt, and he's still gonna have the same draw power. He gonna still have the draw power. He don't need no belt. He's still gonna bring people in. People gonna fly around the world to come see him fight. With Devin Haney, he need the belt. Without that belt, he would not be able to do the same things Tank will be doing.
Where does he go at the Loma fight? Devin Haney.
I think Devin Haney's gonna beat Lomo. I think it's gonna be him. It's gonna be a good notch on his resume to solidify him as being legit. But that's still.
Well, no. I guess what I'm saying is, will he stay at that 135 with the belts, or will he relinquish and go up to the 140 because of the difficulty of making that 135?
He probably go up, but as he go up in weight, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Devin Haney because he's going to be dealing with guys a little bit bigger, and he's already not a big puncher, so he's going to be dealing with guys like region pro greats, guys like Josh Taylor, which is guys that's a little bit bigger and able to punch a little bit harder. So he might have a little bit of problem when he go up.
All right, last question for you, Drew. Caleb Plant Benavidez, how that fight gonna go and who you got?
That's a tough one because Breadman is my man. Benavidez' dad is a great friend of mine. I just want that
Stay
to
neutral on that
stay
one.
neutral in there. I want it to be a good fight because both of them guys are great friends of mine, and may the best man win.
That's what's up, man. Truly appreciate your time as always. Andrew Council, Triple Threat Dream. We out.